Winning the World Cup usually requires perfection. You bring your best players, you fight for every point, and you definitely do not lose to an underdog. Not anymore. In 2026, you can actually lose your way to the most coveted trophy in sports. It sounds completely insane, but thanks to a massive format change by FIFA, a team can play absolutely terrible football, completely embarrass themselves in the group stage, and still lift the World Cup at the end. I'm going to explain exactly how this mathematical loophole works, and why your favorite team might actually benefit from a disaster class. You know the type of World Cup group stage we're used to. For teams, 3 games, cutthroat tension. You slip up once, and you're basically packing your bags. For decades, only the top 2 teams in each group survived to see the knockout rounds. It was simple, and it was brutal. But 2026 is a completely different beast. We have officially ballooned from 32 teams up to 48. To fit all these countries into one tournament, FIFA had to create 12 separate groups of 4. This sounds simple. It isn't. Because to make a knockout bracket work without giving teams weird, unfair buys, you need exactly 32 teams to advance from the group stage. If you take the top 2 teams from all 12 groups, you only get 24 teams. You are still missing 8 teams to make the bracket work. So, how does FIFA find those missing 8? By rewarding mediocrity. They are bringing in the best third-place team rule. When the group stage ends, FIFA will take all the teams that finished third in their respective groups, put them in a giant imaginary league table, and the 8 teams with the best records get a golden ticket to the next round. In theory, this just means more football for the fans. In practice, it creates a bizarre situation where survival requires very little actual winning. Let's say your national team wins their very first game against a weaker opponent, but then completely falls apart. They lose their next 2 games, badly. In almost any previous World Cup, 3 points out of 9 means you are crying on the flight home. But in 2026, a single win, or maybe even 3 incredibly boring draws, might just be enough to slide into one of those lucky third-place slots. Here's where it gets interesting. Once you scrape through that group stage by the absolute skin of your teeth, the slate is wiped entirely clean. Welcome to the newly created round of 32. From this point forward, it is straight knockout football. It doesn't matter if your team barely survived a group with 3 lucky points, while your opponent dominated their group with 9 points and 0 goals conceded. It's 90 minutes of sudden death. All that terrible form from the previous week is erased. If you think a team can't win a major international tournament after stinking up the group stage, history strongly disagrees with you. Just look at Portugal in the 2016 Euros. They didn't win a single game in their group. 3 awkward draws against teams they should have beaten. They finished third. By all traditional logic, they were terrible. But that tournament had this exact same third-place advancement rule. Portugal snuck through the back door, caught fire in the knockout rounds, and ended up winning the entire championship. The 2026 World Cup is going to feel weird because the fear of early elimination is significantly lower for the heavyweights. We are probably going to see top nations treating the group stage completely differently. Why risk burning out your star striker in Game 3 when simply not finishing dead last is enough to keep you alive? So, when the tournament kicks off and a massive footballing nation loses heavily in their opening games, the internet will absolutely panic. But you don't have to. You'll know that losing a battle in 2026 absolutely does not mean losing the war. You can be the third best team in a tiny 4-team group and still go on to conquer the world. Which begs the question, is it fair to reward teams that fail early on, or does it just make the knockout stages more chaotic and unpredictable? Let me know what you think down in the comments. And make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss our next video breaking down exactly how this massive new World Cup actually works.